The quickest way to failure is go tell somebody your idea and them talk you out of it. Tell somebody
That's
your
right.
dream. Tell somebody like, I want to retire in 2 years. No, yeah, we have come with that for you think say you're better than people. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear, oh, you gonna do it. Show me no come, I want to come with you. That's the kind of energy you want. So I want to do an
Yeah.
exercise, Julian, because I want to make it real to people, right? So we're going to go through an exercise. So people take out your notes, take out a paper or something. We're going to calculate that fire number for you. How much money you're going to really need to be independent in your retirement. We run a little, thanks, Stephanie, facts. We run a little exercise and work it out to Julian. We could talk about it, right? I have a little pen and paper here. I'm gonna work it out too. Should be fun. Do it. Come on, more say eyebrow raise up and thing too. Work it out on your tablet, your phone, a notepad, a book, something. We're gonna do the calculation together. We're gonna work it out. We're gonna calculate how much money we need for fire, how much money we need for financial independence and retiring early, right? How much do we need to be investing? So the first thing we're gonna do are monthly expenses. If we have a general idea of that, we're going to take our monthly expenses first, write down the number. How much is your total monthly expense? And we're writing that down. Write it down. And then we're going to multiply that by 12 to get the annual number. Annual expenses. So we basically say, all right, when we retire, we need enough money to cover our expenses every month. So we annualize it, multiply it by 12. I will say, all right, on a yearly basis, on an annual basis, this is how much money I'm going to need to pay my bill. So we have that number. Everybody write it down. We have the number. Now, we need to multiply that by 25. Multiply that now by 25. So, pull out a little calculator and see that annual expense multiplied by 25, because what this assumes, why 25? It assumes that every year you take out 4% of the money to survive, and you're not going to ever really run out of money. So multiply that annual expense by 25. Draw from a little calculator here, because my number a little large. It's a little many zeros. Many zeros. Work it out. Now, does that number seem scary to you, Julian? What do you think?
Well, I did a similar exercise with some attendees at the Caribbean Medical Professionals Conference, and they were scared because we did a calculation and it showed that a dollar today is going to be worth about 7 cents in in
Yeah.
30
So we
years.
get that question. People in Brighton, because they must say, what about inflation? The 25 accounts for that.
Hmm. Yeah, man. So when I told him that um a dollar today is gonna be 7 cents in about 30 years, they were scared, and I said, boy, that's why we talk about this stuff is not to sound pretty. We're not
Yeah.
doing it for decoration.
Me,
And that's to
when
keep your standard of living. That's not to
keep
be
it.
rich. That's to
Yeah.
keep your standard of living.
When I was going to primary school, a patty was $25. And I thought it was very expensive, because me they have to save up how much their lunch money if you can buy one patty. And we used to buy patty every Friday. One patty with a bag of pineapple that used to be $30. Now, $30, I can't even get a patty crumbs. We can't even get that.
Hmm.
Inflation works for you. And the thing with retirement, a lot of people think about, more stop work, more work from my own terms. I want to be work optional status. But you need that over time. Inflation have to come in. So this number, like mine is up there in the millions. And the thing is, I worked out mine in US, because most of my bills in US. So mine are, several millions US. Tall, tall. And persons in the chat, they must say, yo, this scary, the number is big. Such as saying, I got some work to do. But the first thing about getting to any goal is being realistic. Right? For people who say want $1 million by money, me need a few millions. Yeah. Mine need up there in the millions by a morning, right? Now, how do we actually get to that number now? We're going to kind of come up with some ideas of how exactly we get to that number. First thing, we can look on the expense side, right? Some people may say, start there. Are my expenses probably too high? First question. Maybe me write on too big a number because me I live, I'm out here with my necessities. Me I do your thing, Julia, Maybe me not have to do the annual, foot facial every week.
You can do it, but maybe just change the frequency of it. So if it's every week, then maybe every 10 days. Because then you go from doing it 4 times a month to doing it 3 times a month.
Right. So maybe, let's look at the expenses and see where if any fat in there, we can kind of cut off of the expenses a bit. That's the first thing, because if that monthly expense number come down a little bit, the fire number will have come down a little bit, right? Because we have multiply by 12, then multiply by 25. So that'll come down a little bit. That's the first thing. And you have to be honest with yourself. Like, do I really need to be driving the range right now? If I want to try retire early, or could I work with an Audi? Could I work with a Honda? Those questions have to come in. All right, Sasha will not drop it. Sasha is saying she do her facials quarterly. She not do them every week or every month. All right, Sasha, yeah, you're already there. But the first thing, make we look on the expenses and say, all right, what can I cut? Still living abundantly, still living nice, but maybe there's something I can cut. Right? Now, Roger already hit the next part of the equation, which is, all right, I need to earn more. Need to earn more. That's what Roger is saying. Like, spend less is one piece, yes, but maybe I need to earn more money, which is the flip side of it now. Increasing my income. I think we did touch on that. Like, what, in your opinion, is the fastest way to increase your income? Julian.
Oh, in terms of cutting things that we need to cut?
Growing your income. So we talk about cut the expense. Sasha saying you should do more DIY. Stop paying for things where you can probably just do it yourself and you can cut some expense there. I see some people do it. Some TikTokers, they're like, oh, I just do my own nail and just clip on this and whoop, some nails there. Me can't do that. I've tried it. It don't look good. So I know, all right, that DIY did not really work for me. But there are other things I can DIY. My hair, I do my own hair. That's DIY.
Wow, I couldn't tell because
right. Yeah. The last time I went to the hair, she was like $10,000 for cut your hair. And I'm like, 10,000 a year. Like, what may I pay $10,000? No. So that was the end of it. So I just built myself knowing. So it's like one, it's a happen. So that's my DIY. So people can think about other DIYs too.
Yeah, man, there's that. And again, I mentioned bartering where possible. So you do something for somebody as a service provider and they return the service to you. So everything doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar figure, but it can be value where you're getting exposure, for argument's sake, that will lead to dollar value later on. So there could be that. During the pandemic, I used to cut my own hair because I wasn't able to go to the barber, so I had to learn to use the shear and everything. So
you never look squiggly or homeless or nothing.
No. If I didn't tell anybody,
not like that.
It's my first time saying it publicly. So yeah.
No shame in your game. What you ever said first time saying it publicly?
No, trust me, it never looked like this. Yeah, it was a.
People didn't see it them time there.
Yeah, it was a primary school youth trim, or what them call police trim. It wasn't like this. Yeah, man. Basically as colors, as they would call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, So in terms of earning more, upskilling is very important. So not just doing an additional degree, but maybe doing a course or
Yeah,
maybe teaching a course, right? So upskilling, applying that additional skill that we have attained, of course, changing your network because opportunities they sit within networks because the conversations that are had by certain groups varies. So you find that sometimes persons will say, "Hey, um, them send the money in there Jamaica, but X, Y, and Z that happen." So how me
yeah,
never hear that or how me never know? It's because there's a specific network having that conversation. And that's not to be classist or anything. It's just a matter of being cognizant. If it is that I'm a doctor and I'm going to start a medical practice, and I know that my practice has services that are expensive, then I need to be conscious of that.
yeah.
Um, Sometimes there are persons who take on hobbies that break them into certain circles, and it's hobbies they are genuinely interested in. Because you have to be genuine. So maybe golfing. I like F1. There are a lot of high net worth
A rich
individuals
people
who
thing in
go
the
to races.
F1.
Yeah, there are a lot of rich people who go to races. Because F1 is a nerd thing, it's technical. So persons who are in it, they normally love it. So they can talk to you about the team strategy and
No,
all
so
of
the
that.
rich,
But
see there. So
you
you
have to
have to
just
have
find what
rich
fits you.
hobbies, rich interests, and go into that circle. But it's true
And
because if your current
yeah,
friend circle, all you talk about TikTok and Instagram and or Netflix have a new show, you watch it yet. Bridgerton I come out, me can't wait. You don't want to be talking about that. It's not making you financially better. I think for me, any circle, I always tend to elevate the conversation. So I don't know what I do, but whenever people come to me, it's always Keisha. You know, I've been thinking about this. Is this? Them not come. Nobody ever comes to me to say what them see on TikTok. First of all, me not really probably never see it. So you're gonna say that, me gonna be like, watch that. I was looking at the market. That's what people know. That's what I do. So they only come in to talk to me about that kind of conversation. And you kind of want to be that person where people don't come to you with no foolishness.
yeah, yeah, and you need friends for different things. Just the way in school, you have a bridging them that you par with when it's time for run joke. Then you have your friends who you talk to when you need help with a certain topic. Not that you're using them, but everyone is different and everyone
Yeah,
shines in a different way. So you can't have a sphere that's too narrow.
yeah. So
Hmm.
putting yourself in the right type of networks, in expand your net worth, as they say. So have a starting about, all right, woman know where can I go to meet some money investment people? Profit Jumpstart Academy. You can go there, you meet people, expand my circle, get exposed to new ways of thinking, new opportunities, so I can make more money. That makes sense. And then now, once you're making more money, the next part of the equation is I need to invest that money. Real estate, stocks,
Yeah,
bonds, business. Me need some of that. Me I make the money now. Me figure out how to make more money. I have this high value skill set or some high value network that I'm in. So the money just a flow. The next part is now that the money a flow, me need to invest it. I need to start buying assets that will grow. So such a question is, shall I rent or what's the best way to invest that income? You buy more real estate or you buy some stock, you buy some bonds. You keep investing, you buy assets that go up in value over time without you have to do no work. That's really it. It's not hard to have money. I tell people all the time, it's not hard to be wealthy. And the beauty about wealth is that anybody will follow the strategy to go work for them. Same as all 1 plus 1 are 2 for everybody. If you say 1 plus 1, everybody I write down 2. Rich, poor, short, tall, fat, skinny, BBL, big lip, big lash. 1 plus 1 is 2 for you. It's the same way wealth strategies work for everybody. If everybody invests, everybody will go wealthy. So if you follow it that, all right, I'm going to look for my expense, see what I can cut. All right. Where I get the blueprint, where I get the answer right here. I hope people see it and they might write it down. I said, well, she give me the blueprint for be a millionaire. She show me, oh, me can have money. Do it. You just have to do it. That's the next thing. Cut my expense where I can. Make sure me I make more money with a high income skill set, or put myself in a high income circle of people. All right. Well, now that me I make more money, me need to go invest it. Buy some asset.
Yeah.
Where you smile, so what?
No, I mean it's the truth because when you look at it, um, we just have to be intentional about it. Sometimes we put these things out and say, boy, they will work out. And
Yeah, the
while it's important
manifesting thing.
while it's important to have faith, you really have to put action behind the faith.
Faith
Um,
without
and be
works.
intentional. So these concepts, whiteboard them, put them on the whiteboard, plan them out. Sometimes if you want to start a venture and you're not sure, do it on a smaller scale and test the market. I think we're kind of weak when it comes to market testing and getting data, doing a market read. So you do surveys, you call around, you do a sample, and you learn a lot. So when it's time to do the big launch, you're not taking as much of a risk.
Yep.
So
I think
yeah,
people just weak in terms of starting. Them no want start. Them afraid. Them think it not gonna work. Them think, boy, I don't really want to rock the boat, me. Because one thing, when you struggle, after a while, you figure out how to struggle effectively. All
correct.
right, me barely I live hand to mouth. Me just a make ends meet every month. Over time, you get good at making ends meet because that's all you focus on. All right, me just want to work for paying my bills. You go work and pay your bills, but that's all you're
Mhm.
ever gonna get because that's all you're focusing on. The minute you say, me want be a millionaire, me want make more money, your mind will expand to start thinking about that. But if you sit down every day and say, I want to work to pay my bills, I just want to be comfortable. You're comfortable. I gotta start and stop there. Right? We want to have more for ourselves, more out of
Yeah,
life.
yeah, and just to make it more tangible, all of us had to do mock exams. You had to do a mock exam before you did CSEC. You had to do a mock exam before you did GSAT or PEP or Common
Common
Entrance.
entrance.
It's the same thing. So when you're going to launch an adventure, you can do it on a smaller scale so you can learn a bit more so that when you take the bigger leap, you're not taking as much of a risk.
Mm-hmm. Right? So you invest to create cash flow and passive income. And so it work. Like it no hard. It no hard. That's why you see the millionaire, them a do it. And why enough of them not really share the knowledge is because I really want certain people in my circle. To be honest, like after you make a certain amount of money, you know, really, you gotta say, well, I can't really deal with them small-minded people there. None of the time. I try to convince nobody that they can be worth it. I used to spend a lot of time doing that. When we just started Profit Jump Start, I used to spend, what you can do it, you can have money, you can be wealthy. And them say, no, Keisha, I lie. And I said, no, let me show you. And then no, I'm like, if you don't believe me, good for you. Me over here do my thing with the set of people that want to do them thing too. That's what we're doing. You over there,
Yeah,
so good. One day you will see it. Because me know me I talk of the truth. Me not tell a lie. This is, you know what I'm saying? As God live it, this is the truth. If you make more money and you actually invest the money, I eat that. You don't. That's it. There's nothing else to do. But if you don't
mhm,
believe, you're not gonna do nothing, right? You have to actually get into investing, and that's really where it makes difference. That way, I will change your life. So you're picking them, I got money, and can go to good school and go, travel over the world. You have your F1 racing friends. That's where it comes from. Investments. That's where it comes from. Simple. Yeah, so we are going on and we are talk about it, but I want to make sure that FIRE, financially independent retiring early, is more tangible for people. And everybody who on tonight, they kind of leave with something and say, all right, we know exactly what to do to be financially independent and retire early. Make a work on my monthly expenses, multiply by 12, then multiply that by 25. Whatever the number there is, we need to work towards it. And make a work towards it by making more money and take the money there and invest it. Boom, bam, full stop. You that.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything you want to add, Julian, for a wrap?
Yeah, well, just to surround yourself with the right people and to not just think about doing a job, but to build a career and to build a story around your career. Okay, where am I going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's happening in my industry? Is my industry dying? Is my industry taking off? Is it that I want to move into a new industry? Is that new industry dying or taking off? So it's just a matter of being mindful and taking more responsibility and having the planning and the work ethic that matches our goals, because the goals are not just in a vacuum.
Mm. We have to be discipline, the stick to itness. We need that. We need that.
Yeah.
Right. So Lanes was saying, being dedicated is the challenge. Enough people just want the instant gratification. They want this whole microwave, result. I go up on Instagram and see somebody yesterday she did fat, today she's skinny with 6 pack. Yeah, I want that. But we don't know what she do. If she, surgery. Is she at a health risk? Is what we don't know.
Yeah.
Dedication really and truly is where take you to that next level and keep you there.
Yeah.
Some of the other things, you do them, but you flip back. You don't really stick. What sticks always is dedication and consistency.
hmm And you need persons you can talk to, because it's just set up that none of us can do it on our own. So you're going to need mentors, different kinds of mentors. So you might have a business mentor, then you'll have an investing mentor, then you have a career mentor. These might be friends. These might even be authors. They might not be people that you meet with and have coffee with all the time, but you can consult certain authors on certain
Book.
topics. Yeah.
Yep. A true.
hmm
Right? And you mentor them are an idiot. They want to waste
Yeah.
man or waste women. Right? These
hmm
are people who for mentors, what I personally do, I look on somebody who is where I want to be. I'm going to study them. I don't even have to know them personally. I study them and I say, all right, where them did do, how them do it, because I want to achieve that result. And I really believe that if I follow a process, may I get the same result as the person did. So I just need to figure out what is their process and then maybe follow it.